what's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined as always by my dad, Sean, and today, reactions to the classics. We got a top 10 list, rather, to Billy Bragg, and I want to shout out our patron, Fran, for bringing this one to us. We've known a couple Billy Bragg tunes. There's some fans of him on our live streams that we do on Twitch. Be sure to follow us there, and, always kind of like the sound, so I'm curious to dive into a top 10. Fran always brings the goods here, man. But before we get into the quick facts and the list, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that big red subscribe button, and if you'd like to maybe have us react to something for you, you can check out our Patreon page. That is linked down below. But all that to say, man, we got a little bit of the great Billy Bragg to say before we get started.
Yeah, and France always sends us stuff about the artist and then about a lot of the songs, so I always like that. Whoever brings it has a unique perspective on it. So Fran says basically early Dylan meets the Clash.
Ooh, I like that.
Most of the reviews at the beginning of Billy Bragg's career included something around these lines, although no real artist can neither be reduced to a catchy slogan nor be fully portrayed by reference to others. It may serve to summarize in a few words what Billy offers. He's an English singer-songwriter who follows the best tradition of Woody Guthrie or Bob Dylan to compose and perform songs with a solid lyrical content. In the U.S., he's only achieved cult following, but in the U.K., he's a quite renowned artist. I found that from my own research, too. With a few hits during the 80s and 90s and a recognized public figure due to his activism, especially during the 80s when he stood at the forefront of the support to the 1984 miners' strike and co-founded with other musicians like Paul Weller, got a ton of jam stuff and Paul stuff up, Red Wedge, a collective who attempted to engage young people with politics and supported the Labour Party, aiming to oust the conservative government of Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, he's often labeled, while not directly dismissed, as a political artist. However, while he was certainly a left-wing activist and has written some of the sharpest political hymns of the last decades, I personally find that a significant part of his finest work are his love songs. He's nothing less than a lyrical genius to me in my top 10 of best lyricists of all time.
Wow, that's high praise.
He's particularly a master in rhyming, a slippery art where most are only able to pull out cheesy or unoriginal lines, but where Bragg shines with clever, hilarious, and poetic rhymes that only he is able to find. So I just always appreciate Fran's write-ups here with what we got, and I think that kind of sets the stage for those of us that maybe don't know much of Bragg's work, man. So let's get into the list, ladies and gentlemen. Pop it up here. We got number 10, To Have and To Have Not, from Life's a Riot with Spy vs. Spy, 1983.
Yeah, France is a track from his first record that showcases Billy's iconic punk troubadour sound from his earlier efforts. Fran asked, can a song be more relevant 40 years after its release than when it first came out? The answer is yes, and the proof is this tune. Accompanied by that roaring guitar riff, Billy evokes with immense empathy the progressive difficulties of the working class to make a living in Western societies, where a declining industry and a weakening middle class are leaving so many without opportunities. Wow, there's definitely like it is now.
True, and Fran also noted sometimes less is more, and with just his guitar and his voice, Billy delivers a message that makes the listener reflect while rocking at the same time. We also found that the original album played at 45 RPM rather than the more usual 33 1/3, contained only 7 songs and lasted for only 15 minutes, 57 seconds. However, rather than being classified as an EP, it qualified for the UK Albums Chart and reached number 30 in January of 1984. NME, big obviously publication over in the UK, ranked it at number 3 in its albums of the year for 1983. 30 years later, the magazine ranked it at number 440 in its list of 500 greatest albums of all time. So Billy was just coming out of the gate on fire.
Yeah, but I've never come across an album that was less than 16 minutes long. And on that note, the cassette version of the album was recorded on only one side of the tape. The second side of the tape was blank, inscribed with a message that fans should use it to bootleg his concerts.
That's cool.
Just a cool deal, guys. So we're going to jump into this as usual. The music will not be up. It'll be on another site with a link below. So if you want to follow along with this and listen to the music, check that out. If you just want to see what we think, we'll be right back.
And as always, going to have the lyrics pulled up on our respective computers here. So let's get into this number 10.
Thanks again, Fran.
All right, To Have and To Have Not, starting us out on this list, man. What you think of this one, Dad?
I liked it. I liked his voice, and then the story, of course, was tremendous. Up up in the morning out to school. Mother says there'll be no work next year. Qualifications once the golden rule are now just pieces of paper. Just because you're better than me doesn't mean I'm lazy. Just because you're going forwards doesn't mean I'm going backwards. I thought that's a tremendous...
Yeah, that was kind of the chorus of it, you know?
Yeah, and I thought that was really, really good.
And I kind of kept waiting for the guitar to like come in a bit heavier, but it never did, you know? No. And I think that kind of worked with it. Definitely had that Clash type of... vocal delivery up in here, I thought, and even a little of that Clash instrumentation going on. So I thought that, as Fran said, as we're sitting here in 2020, especially here in the U.S., jobs have been lost at a ridiculous rate due to the pandemic and this and that. Just that whole concept of everything's going down and it's a buyer's market. They can pick and choose whatever the qualifications are. And just because, yes, if somebody... there's always going to be somebody better than you, but that doesn't mean that you're lazy. Just because you're going forwards doesn't mean I'm going backwards. I'm maybe just going forwards at my own pace.
And I thought that last one, at 21, you're on top of the scrap heap. At 16, you were top of the class. So things changed tremendously in those 5 years. All they taught you at school was how to be a good worker. The system has failed you. Don't fail yourself. So you were preparing for this.
You're right,
and now
man.
There's nothing there for you to even get. So, Great choice right out of the gate, and you know what a thing for his first song.
For real, man.
His first album.
That's what I was thinking too. And now we're gonna switch gears, go to number 9 on this list. We got Sexuality, which I believe was played on a live stream. This was from the record Don't Try This at Home, 1991. So we're gonna skip ahead some years. Fran noted, compared with the previous track, the leap on production is extraordinary.
Well, it's 8 years, yeah.
Bragg kept progressively introducing more and more instruments on every record, reaching his peak on Don't Try This at Home. His most polished and intricate production, courtesy of Johnny Marr from the Smiths and Grant Showbiz. Huge Johnny Marr fan. We got a lot of Smiths stuff up on the channel if you'd like to check that out.
This track was co-written by Marr, who plays electric and acoustic guitar and keyboards, and features the great Kirsty McCall as well on backing vocals. After a decade of Puritanism with the Reagan and Thatcher administrations, combined with the threat of AIDS and the homophobia it generated, it was a brave move by Bragg to put out a song treating the subject so openly and with such a witty sense of humor. This was a single, went to 27 in the UK, also went to number 2 on the U.S. modern rock charts.
As Fran noted, the difference between this and to have not was obviously huge in the production, the instrumentation, the layering.
Yes.
I thought Marr's fingerprints were definitely felt all over this one.
All over it, man. Definitely different sound.
And enjoyed that guitar work. It had that jangliness that you'd expect from the Smiths a little bit in there. Chorus, again, incredibly catchy, especially the way he said the word sexuality.
Yeah, exactly.
He almost like stretched that out into a bunch of different syllables to really kind of get that catchiness going, man. And I know Fran noted kind of the rhyming of Bragg.
Yeah, I noticed it in this big time.
That was the other thing I wanted to note. So I was impressed with it, and I like how at the start, this was almost 30 years ago. So at the start, he kind of like puts forth, I've had relations with girls from many nations, passes at women of all classes. So I think he's establishing, because if you come out with a song like this, they probably were going to say, is Billy Bragg gay?
Yeah, exactly.
But he mentions, and just because you're gay, I won't turn you away. If you stick around, I'm sure we can find some common ground. And then, just kind of continues to...
Yeah, and that's basically, I don't really have a lot else to add to it. It's just a really nice way of presenting...
Yeah.
I like the part he says, I look like Robert De Niro.
That was cool, yeah.
I drive a Mitsubishi Zero. So De Niro Zero, but it worked. It didn't sound cheesy. So, yeah, just very catchy, very nice, and a huge difference between these two songs. Obviously, they're 8 years apart, and, Billy probably went from, on the first album, not having a whole lot of money for production to obviously being able to bring in Marr and do this. But nice. Nice choice.
And just the smoothness of it, with kind of the stronger message, the, I demand equality type of thing he was saying too. I think that kind of worked well and maybe made people listen a bit more. But we're going to stick with the same record, man. Go to Everywhere.
Yeah. Fran said Billy Bragg always showed a good eye to choose songs to cover. His only number 1 was a wonderful cover. Oh, Trey, one of our favorites.
Right.
She's Leaving Home by the Beatles. He also covered The Smiths, makes sense. The Jam, Fred Neil, Dylan, The Clash, Sam Cooke, among many others.
Like Billy's taste, man.
Yeah, definitely.
And the brand noted my favorite cover of him is this heartbreaking anti-war tune written by Greg Trooper and Sid Griffin. The standout are the poignant lyrics and the stunning mandolin played by Peter Buck from R.E.M.
People just popping in everywhere.
Dude.
So he had Marr on the previous song.
Yeah.
And he has Buck from R.E.M. on this
cool.
one on the same album. Pretty good.
Definitely going to be in contention for my favorites, man. What a story in this track.
Yeah, Fran was absolutely right. I mean, in choosing on something for a cover, I know Billy didn't write this, but just a tremendous story, man. It keeps you wondering what's going to happen next, and the softness of his vocal delivery, compared to Have and to Have Not 8 years earlier is there's such a stark contrast. Like, he handles this song exactly like it should be.
And I thought the mandolin was just excellent by Buck there. Just
it really worked with the,
very subtle, but I think it added just enough kind of it almost had that, speaking of stuff from the Orient up in there. I don't know, my mandolin, that kind of, I don't know, it kind of made me think of that region for some reason. But, he's talking really about war and this and that in the first couple verses. He says, "Now I believe to be here is right, but I have to say that I'm scared tonight. Crouching in this hole with a mouthful of sand, what comes first, the country or the man?" What a profound question coming in here.
They're up in the Philippines. So he's like, look at those slanted eyes coming up over the hill, catching us by surprise. It's time to kill or to be killed. That's going to play in later, and over here, over there, it's the same everywhere. A boy cries out, he says this a few times, for his mama before he dies, for his home. Wow, man.
It reminded me of, I know Fran likes, I think, I don't know. But I know a lot of people, of course, in the UK like Kate Bush, and she's got a track called Pull Out the Pen that kind of deals with the same thing.
Yeah.
It's one thing, it's me or him. I love life, so I pull out the pen. It's kill or be killed, man. And it's just one of those concepts of war that's tough to wrap you, because you don't know this person that you're going to kill. You're just taking orders from somebody who's taking orders and orders. But
and then it really takes a turn,
Dude, yeah, he says, all my life I wanted to be as clever and strong as my best friend Lee. And then they grew up together, and we figure out Lee was Japanese, born in the USA.
Yeah, and I knew where I was going then. When Tommy was fighting Jerry along the River Seine, me and Lee wanted to do the same. Then they bombed Pearl Harbor at the break of the day. I was headed for these islands while Lee was hauled away. They said, look at his slanted eyes. He's as guilty can be. Sent here as enemy spies to sabotage the land of the free. So he was obviously taken to an internment camp. One of the real blights on the United States that no one ever talks about. All I ever hear is this, how great it was in the old days and make America great again. Yeah, there's a lot of horrific stuff in the history of the United States. And this is one of them that no one ever talks about. I know for a fact over 100,000 Japanese Americans were taken and imprisoned for the mere fact that they were of Japanese heritage, and just like Lee, they were all born in the USA.
That's the important point. Yeah, I remember I didn't learn about that in school until maybe senior year or something. And I was like, what in the world?
One of those things they push in the American history world.
And then it wraps up, our protagonist never got home. His platoon was never saved. That little foxhole became my island grave. Lee got out of jail, but a prisoner he remained till he ended his own life to lose that ball.
He just couldn't get over it, man. Woo. Wow, that's powerful. That one's going to be hard not to be on my favorite list.
Powerful song, so great choice there, Fran. And now we're going to move to number 7 here, Way Over Yonder in the minor key, from Mermaid Avenue in 1998.
Okay, so we'll jump ahead a bunch.
Yeah, Fran noted, Woody Guthrie's daughter Nora approached Billy in 95 with the idea of writing new music to hundreds of lyrics for songs that Woody had never recorded. Oh, wow. Despite the fact that his recording career was over by 1947, Woody carried on writing songs until he died in 67.
I guess you're going to do what you do, right? Ooh. No matter what.
The music is lost forever, but the lyrics remain and found a new home when Billy teamed up with Wilco to release a wonderful record where Billy's compositions are among the best of the lot.
And Francis, I especially like this tune. The playful melody, the nostalgic yet joyful lyrics, the superb backing vocals by Natalie Merchant from 10,000 Maniacs. the fiddle striking just at the right moment and that subtle ham and wrapping Bragg's voice in one of his best vocal deliveries. Wow.
All right.
Brand does such a good job of making you want to just listen to this.
Yeah, I'm like,
thing,
okay, I'm ready now. All right, number 7 coming in, Way Over Yonder in the minor key. And kind of mentioned it in the reaction that, man, this was the type of music that I think works very well with some Woody Guthrie penned lyrics over here, man. And Natalie Merchant killed it, I think, too, to add some sweetness to it.
Yeah, I think, the lyrics are obviously great, but the star for me was just the instrumentation was just perfect, along with the way he was singing it. And then Natalie came in and punched it up at just the right time every time. Just a pretty song.
That fiddle
hit. Yeah, just a really nice track.
And, it kind of starts out the childhood, as we go. He notes the kind of the motif of the song, and ain't nobody that can sing like me. I thought Bragg delivered we've already seen just through 4 songs the different type of styles that he can sing in, depending on the instrumentation. And here he obviously brought that softer edge to the track here. And then he just kind of goes through, sets the imagery of the Buckeye Creek and this or that. I'm just picturing two kids, kind of exploring the world, and how little boys can get just.
And you can tell this song was written a long, long time ago.
Oh yeah,
kind of the descriptors that are used.
And then he notes at the very end, her mama cut a switch and laid it on she and me. Nothing like those switches, man.
Stung lots worse than a hive of bees, but there ain't nobody that can sing like me.
And then he notes, I've led a lot of girls since then to stray, saying ain't nobody that can sing like me. So he used that same line
at the
through
very
the
end
years.
to kind of hammer out. Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, nice tune.
It was, man. And now we're going to go to song number 6 on here. We got She's Got a New Spell from Workers' Playtime here. Fran noted this is from 1988, so we'll throw it back about a decade here from our last tune. Fran said, Billy masterfully expresses the magic of falling in love, that sensation of feeling powerless and under a spell that no rational mind can explain. I find irresistible that jangly guitar line and catchy melody. Why this tune wasn't a number 1 hit all over the world leaves me baffled as its protagonist is. All right, number 6, She's Got a New Spell coming in, and man, what Fran was saying was, I think, quite true. A very nice jangly type of guitar lead. Always loved that type of sound, and very, very catchy and just relatable.
Yeah, just very pleasant on the ears. I like that. So far he never uses just a ton of instrumentation that overpowers. He's very confident in his voice. You can always tell that with an artist because it's always mixed to the front. The second oldest song on here besides the opener on this
list. That's right, yeah.
Sounds great. And, I don't know. I mean, is she really putting a spell on him? It kind of makes you wonder that. Of course, that's how I know she's got a new spell. Yeah, that's how I know she's got a new spell. And what's going down? Who's moved this room from around me? Where is it gone? I fear this night will drown me, so I lie awake all night because I can't sleep with something I can't fight.
He's overwhelmed by the love, man. And just as Fran said, that rationality just goes out the window when you're
it does, man.
You're smitten. So
even when you know better, and even when people are trying to tell you better. But yeah, just a wonderful tune, man.
No, yeah, very pleasant way to end the first half of our list, and now we're going to enter the top 5 and go to Saint Swithin's Day. From
rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah, Brewing Up with Billy Bragg, 1984
way back here.
Fran noted, sometimes love is not enough to hold up a relationship. The lyrics of this touching song are filled with brilliant lines to depict the complexities of love. The title perfectly serves the doomed romance of the story. Saint Swithin's Day is an English expression to refer to, quote, a day that never comes. Thank you, Fran, for filling us in on that. Like those guitar arpeggios chiming for a wedding that will never happen. They just tear me apart every time I listen to the song. All right, number 5, Saint Swithin's Day, coming in here with, I think, my favorite guitar lead on any of the tracks we've heard thus far.
Yeah, I think the guitar was fantastic. The first song that had a decently build on the intro, about 30 seconds, and a big outro, almost a minute, to kind of show that off. And you mentioned it during the reaction, the quiet, heavy dynamic. And, the gist of the song, I think the real meat of it is in verse 3. But, that just kind of builds up with, this relationship is falling apart.
Oh, yeah.
They just can't come to common ground. And then the verse 3 is just just tragic.
Oh yeah, he just as the relationship deteriorated, he notes, "Thanks all the same, but I just can't bring myself to answer your letters. It's not your fault, but your honesty touches me like a fire." Great similes there. The Polaroids that hold us together will surely fade away, like the love that we spoke of forever on Saint Swithin's Day. Whew.
Yeah, so tragic in the fact that like no one dies, guys, but tragic in the fact this man's heart is broken. There's really no way around it, because I'm guessing she just told him, "I don't feel the same way about you as you feel about me." And if you've ever been in that situation, that one stings for a long time.
Dude, yeah, that's that was a strong tune again, touching on love here. Billy bringing the heat. And now we're gonna go to song number 4 on the list. We got Levi, Stubbs' Tears, from Talking with the Taxman about poetry. What a bunch of unique
that's
album,
what I was gonna say here.
album titles. This is from 1986. Fran noted Billy's guitar contributes to build an ominous atmosphere that perfectly suits the song and makes us focus on the heart-wrenching lyrics, which tell the story of failure and abuse, but also about the power of music to bring hope and warmth into our lives. When the trumpet and bongos make their entrance at the outro, it is impossible not to be overwhelmed by emotions.
It was the first single released from the album. The song's title refers to, of course, the Four Tops lead singer Levi Stubbs. In 2014, NME ranked it 207 on their 500 greatest songs of all time. So high praise.
All right, Levi Stubbs' Tears coming in at number 4. A really powerful track and great instrumentation on top of just a heartbreaking story over here. Billy not light on his lyricism, that's for sure.
No, not at all, And I mean, it starts right out. You kind of know what happens. The money from her accident, she bought herself a mobile home, so at least she could get some enjoyment out of being alone.
That's right. I like that because it kind of started at the end, so to speak,
Yeah, exactly. And, the chorus, when the world falls apart, some things stay in place. Levi Stubbs' tears run down his face. You got to have that constant there.
And it notes it goes back to this woman's childhood. She ran away from home in her mother's best coat. She was married before she was even entitled to vote, so married young.
Yeah, so let you know she's kind of in a bad situation, right, where she can only rely on her husband, and that's how women get caught in bad situations. She can't go back home probably because she ran away from home. She was young, so probably not able to work a lot, probably not a huge education.
And he's one of those types of guys that there wasn't even a war, and he left anyway. And then, Billy name drops a bunch of kind of Motown great producers in there. And then we kind of figure out how this woman got in an accident. One dark night, her husband came home from the sea and put a hole in her body where no hole should be. And though they stitched her back together, they left her heart in pieces on the floor. And then she takes the Four Tops tape, puts it back in its case. I think that just, again, points to the power that music can have to bring people through so many tough situations here, and I thought Billy just got to the heart of that.
I agree, and very clever songwriting, man. Dude, very clever songwriting.
For real, and that outro, as Fran noted, man, when the bongos and trumpet come in, just fantastic. And now we're going to go to song number 3 on the list, top 3, ladies and gentlemen.
Tank Park Salute.
Tank Park Salute, back on the great Don't Try This at Home record in 1991.
Fran says it's a tribute to Billy's father, who served in the Royal Tank Regiment in World War II, hence the title, and died of cancer when Billy was 18 years old. It's a very clever structure sung to his dad from 3 points in time. He goes back to childhood, Kiss Me Goodnight, and Say My Prayers, then jumps to the funeral when he was 18. I accepted the commiserations of all your friends and your relations, and ends in the present day. I offer up to you this tribute where photographs of a sunny day fill the adult narrator with nostalgia for childhood. The simple arrangement with the basic piano motif is just what this song needs. Wow, this sounds like it's going to be a powerful one.
Oh, yeah. All right, number 3, Tank Park Salute. What you think of this one, Dad?
Oh, it was so good. The lyrics were so strong, and, obviously speaking from his heart. I kind of covered the lyrics a little bit, or Fran did actually, and I just read it but at the start. But I think this is the best example of what Fran was talking about at the beginning, about the rhyming without sounding cheesy. Because down here in the second verse, there's just a bunch of great stuff. I accepted the commiserations of all your friends and your relations, but there's some things I just still don't understand. You were so tall, how could you fall? And then in the next one, he does the same thing. Is a little boy's lifetime away is all I've left of everything we've done. Like a pale moon in a sunny sky, death gazes down as I pass by, and then reminds done with son at the end to remind me that I'm but my father's son. So just a tragic, because he has these childhood memories. His father died when he was young, but he was 18, so he has that life. But his dad never got to see him grow into a man, and obviously the success he had. Wow, it's a powerful song. The piano is absolutely perfect, as Fran pointed out.
No, man, I can't sum it up better than that. I was just going to note that the piano I thought was just the perfect backing to such an emotionally dense track here, man. And obviously, I still got my dad, and but you still empathize and can put yourself in Billy's situation, man. And that was a great choice right there, Fran. That's for sure. And we only got 2 songs left, y'all. Man. We're gonna go to the shortest track on this list. We got a New England, clocking it in only 2 minutes 15 seconds because it's off that debut, Life's Riot with Spy vs. Spy.
Yeah, that's right.
From 83. Fran noted, Billy tells us about this song, quote, I was 21 years when I wrote this song. I'm 22 now, but I won't be for long. A line taken from Paul Simon's Leaves That Are Green. I wanted people to know that I was a fan of Paul Simon. I was 22 when I wrote that song. It was exactly where I was. I was living in more or less a squat in East Northamptonshire, walked back from the pub, looked up and saw 2 satellites flying over side by side, came home with the metaphor and wrote a New England around it. And then the line, I saw 2 shooting stars last night, I wished on them, but they were only satellites. Is it wrong to wish on space hardware? Kills me every time. That's what Fran noted.
And it was not a single when it first came out, but it became one of Billy's classics thanks to the fantastic cover by the great Kirsty MacColl, which reached number 7 in the UK. Following McCall's tragic death in a boat accident, in her memory, Bragg sings the track in his live shows, adding the extra verse that was in her version. And what I found is he told a BBC interviewer he, quote, stole the melody from Thin Lizzy's cowboy song. Thin Lizzy, another group that we have a top 10 up of. So fantastic stuff right there.
A New England coming in here, just like To Have and To Have Not. It had that same type of guitar just underlying where you felt that it could just go in at any moment, man. Again, definitely that Clash influence, as you mentioned, Dad, and I think just gets to that heart of that early 20s time where you're not here to change the world. You're just looking for a New England, in the case of Billy, or just really a new spot from where you're at, where you want to kind of get to a different, as we noted at the start, Billy was squatting kind of somewhere, this or that. Just looking for a new gal that maybe will change your stuff around, or a new place to just kind of get on your feet type of deal.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have much else to say. Just a nice little sound to it. It's short, obviously, but it doesn't feel short. It feels just right.
Yeah, he packs a lot of lyrics in here in 2 minutes, man. I like I'm with Fran. I really enjoy verse 2. I love the words you wrote to me, but that was bloody yesterday. I can't survive on what you send. Every time you need a friend, and then he notes, wishing upon the satellites. Is it wrong to wish on space hardware? I wish you'd care. He kind of cares, I think, more than he maybe lets on in this track a little bit too, man. So now, drum roll, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our number 1 song. It's going to be from the record Workers' Playtime, just like She's Got a New Spell was, and it's going to be Waiting for the Great Leap Forwards, which again I think maybe was played on a live stream back in the day, but I can't tell you anything about this one. But Fran wrote up a nice little thing for it here.
Yeah, Fran said the song was written during a time of disillusionment after the 1987 British general election, when Margaret Thatcher had won her second term as Prime Minister. Billy progressively overcomes the initial pessimism of the song to end up with a call for action to make a better world filled with hopefulness and solidarity. It's a regular in Billy's gigs. I love the fact that it's a living song, since Billy adapts every time its lyrics to the times or the place he is performing. So, if it was dealing with Thatcher in 87, he can make it with Boris in 2020. The structure is masterfully crafted to express Billy's feelings. Instruments keep being gradually added. The tempo builds up slowly with that awesome dance hall piano and the terrific rhythm section with the great Bruce Thomas from Elvis Costello's The Attractions playing bass. And so finally the chorus explodes in a collective catharsis to which is impossible not to participate and sing along to, contaminated by the joyful enthusiasm of the song. Man, Fran, you can write.
Fran's out here balling, man.
I'm telling you.
We need to hire him for our.
I guarantee you.
If we start a journal or something, man. Bragg described this as, quote, my way of owning up to the ambiguities of being a political pop star, while stating clearly that I still believed in Sam Cooke's promise that a change was gonna come. Cool quote there, man. So number 1, ladies and gentlemen, and then afterwards we'll get to our favorite tracks. Number 1 on the list, Waiting for the Great Leap Forwards, and what Fran kind of built up, man, it played out better even than I expected, with the every verse just subtly adding in something here, something there, a little drum beat here, until finally, it waits till the very end of the song. You just keep building up, keep waiting.
Yeah, exactly.
Waiting for the great leap forward. I mean, dude, it was so catchy at the end there, and obviously the most politically active song we've had on this list at the point, man.
And he just kind of systemically plays out, the events from, the 60s apparently, and just kind of up to the current time where he's at in 1988. So I like the 1 leap forward, 2 leaps back. Will politics get me the sack?
Yeah,
Here comes the future. You can't run from it if you've got a blacklist. I want to be honest. So he's embracing it. Like, you know what? I'm not on board with what's going on in this government.
He shouts out the great Top of the Pops as well. And then just a bunch of great one-liners.
Start your own revolution and cut out the middleman.
Dude, that's right. And he knows in a perfect world we'd all sing into, but this is reality, so give me some room. We'd all like to be together and this or that, but human history has shown that ain't gonna happen anytime soon. So join the struggle while you may. The revolution, it's just a t-shirt away, baby. We need a slogan, we need some marketing to get us out there.
As we wear our reactions to the classic shirts.
Dude, that's right, man. The merch, man. You gotta get the name out here. But yeah, just a wonderful way to kind of end up. And I think kind of put on a bow everything that's great about Bragg and his music, and that'll seamlessly take us into our favorite tracks over here. You want to go first, Dad, or you want me to?
You can.
All right, well, I'm going to go with Tank Park Salute. I thought that was just such a powerful tune.
I'm going with that one, too, so I'll jump in there.
I'm going to go with Everywhere.
I got that one, too, but I don't have a third one. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
And then I will go with Waiting for the Great Leap Forwards here as my third one, with an honorable mention to Levi Stubs' Tears and St. Swithin's Day, just coming in real close to getting in that top 3 for me. But all in all, man, really enjoyable list. Love the instrumentation. Obviously, the lyricism. We're big lyrics guys here. Bragg is a talented bloke, and I'm looking forward to diving into his work.
Yeah, me too. And I'll go with my third favorite. I'll go Levi Stubbs' Tears. It's between that, and Waiting for the Great Leap Forward. It's very, very difficult. There wasn't one song on here that I didn't like. I didn't take anything. Usually I delete a song off afterwards if I know it's not going to be in my faves. And I just really have nothing over here. I have 2 songs as faves, and the rest of them I have nothing because it was so good.
Dude, man, yeah. Fran, killing your top 10s again. And, of course, we always like to hear from y'all. Let us know your favorite Billy Bragg songs and your favorite Billy Bragg records as well. Always like to hear from y'all. Appreciate the research, Dad.
Oh, yeah.
And until next time, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Happy listening, and we will see you.